So we're diving into the first chapter of Silverhelm's deception. And right from the get-go, we're thrown into a kingdom that's just swimming in moonlight and secrets. At the heart of it all is a princess whose life is supposedly hanging by a thread. But here's the thing. Is that story even true? Or is it all just one big elaborate lie? Let's get into it.
I mean, listen to that opening line. Wow, it just sets the scene perfectly, right? It sounds so beautiful, almost magical. But that word spilled gives you this feeling that something's not quite right, something's broken. And that is the perfect way to describe the kingdom of Silverhelm. Everything looks one way, but the truth, well, the truth is something else entirely.
So here's the central hook. The entire kingdom believes their beloved heir, their princess, is dying. But what if she isn't? What if that's all just a story? And that's really the question that kicks everything off. It's not just if she's alive, but why someone would go to such lengths to hide it. Why make an entire kingdom grieve for a lie?
All right, so really get what's going on. We have to start with the princess herself. Let's talk about this princess in peril.
Okay, so this is Princess Lyria, and her situation is, well, it's intense. To the public, she's dead, gone. But the reality? She's alive, but hidden away in a tower, suffering from this strange fever for 4 years. Imagine that, her entire childhood just gone. The whole kingdom thinks she's a tragic memory, which makes her very existence this massive, dangerous secret. A secret that, if it got out, could literally bring down the entire monarchy.
And you can't keep a secret that big alone. So you've got two key players here, the keepers of the secret. First, there's Eva, Lyria's guardian, who's been with her through it all. And then there's Uldric, a loyal old guard. These two are the only things standing between the truth getting out, and they're terrified, specifically of one person finding out, the queen, Marwyn. This really sets up the central conflict between the king and queen. You've got King Edric on one side, and his motivation is pure, heartbreaking fatherly love. He is desperate. The quote says it all. I will not accept what the healers cannot solve. He's just broken. But then you have Queen Marwyn. Her motivation? Pure ambition. The description of her says her eyes glinted, not with sympathy, but victory. So while he's falling apart with grief, she's seeing a golden opportunity. And that is a dangerous, dangerous combination. And with the king completely lost in his grief, Queen Marwyn sees her chance to pounce. This is where her cunning plan really kicks into gear. You just hear the desperation in the king's voice, right? She is getting worse. He's not thinking clearly. He's a father watching his child suffer. And that raw emotion, that pain, it's a crack in his defenses. And for someone like the queen, a crack is all she needs to get in and twist his love into a weapon she can use against him. So here's how her scheme works. It's brilliant, in a really twisted way. First, the bait. She tells him about this mythical, magical cure, a special bloom that grows way beyond the southern borders. Second, the condition. She tells him he has to be the one to go get it. He can't send anyone else. And third, the secrecy. He has to leave right away before dawn and tell absolutely no one. It's the perfect way to get him out of the picture, isolated and on a wild goose chase. And he totally falls for it. And why does he agree? Because a father's heart doesn't listen to logic, does it? It listens to any tiny sliver of hope that he can save his child. He's so blinded by love and grief that he doesn't see the trap. He's not thinking like a king, he's thinking like a dad. And that is exactly what Marwyn was betting on. Okay, so while the king is being sent off on this fool's errand, this complete lie, something else is happening back at the castle. A second plan is unfolding in the shadows. A midnight escape. Everything happens on this single crazy night. Think about it. At dusk, Marwyn sends the king away on his fake quest. By midnight, Ava and Uldric are already starting to sneak Lyria out. Just before dawn, the king officially leaves the castle. And by the time the sun is up, Lyria is hidden in a cart on the open road. Father and daughter moving in opposite directions, both thinking they're on a path to a cure, but only one of them is for real. And this is no grand royal departure for Lyria. Her escape route is anything but glamorous. We're talking forgotten servant stairways, corridors thick with dust. She's literally hidden under sacks of grain and smuggled out in the back of some random merchant's cart. This isn't a princess on a journey. It's a prisoner making a break for it. And you have to imagine what this must feel like for her.
The castle, it was a prison, sure, but it was also the only home she has ever known. And now it's just disappearing behind them like a fading dream. That part of her life is over.
This leads to a really important question, though. A pretty creepy one, actually. If the real princess is gone, then who or what is in that tower? Who is the king so worried about? What is going on?
And then we get this absolutely chilling line from Queen Marwen. No one leaves my web. Chills. That one sentence tells you everything you need to know about her level of control. She's not just a schemer, she's a puppet master, and the entire kingdom is tangled up in her lies.
So how is she doing it? What's in the tower? Well, it's something called shadow magic. It's basically a conjured illusion, but one that is so real you can't tell it from reality. Marwen has used this magic to create a decoy princess, a fake Lyria, to fool everyone. So the king, the court, the entire kingdom, they're all mourning an illusion. But as the queen's shadows spread, something else is happening. A different kind of magic is starting to wake up. This is the lantern magic's dawn.
And for Lyria, out on the road, something incredible happens. For the first time in years, she saw the stars. Can you even imagine? After being locked in a room your whole childhood, that simple sight would feel like everything. It's this beautiful, breathtaking moment of real freedom.
And it's all happening because of a promise. Eva turns to her and makes this vow. You will be safe. I made a promise to your mother, and I will keep it. So this isn't just an escape. It's an act of deep love and loyalty. A little bit of light in a kingdom that's getting darker by the minute. And being out there, under the stars, it does something to Lyria. That fever, that sickness she's had for years, it starts to change. It doesn't feel like an illness anymore. It feels more like a power that's been dormant and is just now starting to wake up. This is the very first spark of what would come to know as lantern magic.
So a new magic is definitely awakening, which leaves us with a big question, right? In a kingdom that is built on shadows and lies, what happens when a true light finally begins to shine? How big is this fight going to be?